Listen, I don't need your belief, because belief is cheap. What I'm asking you for is something far more dangerous. Your attention. See, attention is where realities begin. Before we go any further, answer me something. Have you ever survived something that should have destroyed you? Physically, mentally, emotionally. Take your pick. That year, that event, that loss, that version of you that never came back again and was seemingly killed, dead. Good. Then you've already met the shadows. You may have called them something else, like depression, anxiety, failure, heartbreak, rock bottom, the dark night of the soul. Different names, same doorway. Many people spend their lives running from the very thing that came looking to liberate them by introducing them to themselves. Run that back again. No, hear it again. Most people sprint from the very thing that came to reveal who they truly are. Because that's the first illusion. You think life is happening to you? What if it's always been happening for you? Not in the shallow way, not as some comforting slogan. I mean, what if every impossible moment was perfectly measured with just enough pressure to crack the shell, but never enough to destroy what was within? Coal doesn't argue with pressure, it simply becomes a diamond instead. Transcend. Seeds don't fear the winter, they become forests and rise. Stars collapse before they illuminate galaxies with their glow. So tell me, why do you believe you're the one exception to this rule that is everywhere, my friend? The ancients understood this. Different lands, different languages, different myths, same map. It was identical. The ninja knew. The shaman knew. The mystic knew. Not because they were special, but because they stopped running. They instead walked willingly into the place where everyone else spent their lives avoiding. The place where every mask dies. The place where every excuse burns. Where every borrowed belief falls away until there is only one thing left. You, or whoever was watching behind the idea of you. Now stop. Seriously, stop. Who is hearing these words? Not your name, not your history, not your personality. Who is listening right now? Can you find it? Or can you only find your thoughts about it? That question right there has started wars, ended religions, created monks, destroyed empires, because once you genuinely ask it, you cannot unknow it. The ancients did this without relent, because they knew something our age forgets. The greatest enemy never arrives wearing a foe's face. It arrives sporting yours instead. Your doubt, your uncertainty, your story, your limits, your voice telling you who you cannot become. The real battlefield was never the world, it was the relationship between awareness and fear. Think about it. Not fear itself, your relationship to fear. Everything changes the moment that changes. You see, fear is a strange teacher. Run and it will chase you. Turn and face it and embrace it, and something extraordinary happens. The monster, it begins to teach. And it speaks with a voice and tone that is your very own, from way back when certain events fragmented your inner realms. That is the truth of what lies in the shadow's depth, my friend. Ignoring this means mass medical things, side effect lists and coping mechs, but worst of all, it's a life unlived, due to never examining how you came to accept less. Now, listen carefully. This is where the old traditions start speaking the same language, different symbols, same truth. Every initiation begins with the death of certainty. Not your body, your certainty. The version of yourself that you mistook for yourself with a capital S. Who would you be without this sad story that you keep repeating? Not your name, not your past, not your trauma, not your successes, not your failures. Who is hearing these words right now? Don't answer immediately. Go and look instead. Can you find the witness, that pure consciousness that dwells within, or only the thoughts about the listener filtered through concepts? That question has echoed through the caves, temples, mountains, monasteries, battlefields, and bedrooms where someone stared at the ceiling, wondering if tomorrow was truly worth meeting. I've stood there. I've looked into that abyss. I've watched everything that I thought I was burn. My friends set me up and left me for dead. My family abandoned. And all I'd worked for vanished. And yet something was left. And here is what no one tells you. The fire was never trying to consume you. It was simply trying to reveal what couldn't burn. That's the second illusion. You think awakening adds something? No. It removes instead another mask, another fear, another layer of conditioning, until one day there is nothing left to defend, and then there is nothing left to fear. The shadows change, not because they disappear, because you do. The version of you they frightened is long gone, and now the darkness becomes direction instead. Pressure offers refinement, loss generates initiation, failure is seen as feedback, and the enemy becomes the teacher, as the wound is revealed as the doorway through which lies your greatest strength. Maybe that's why the brightest souls often live the darkest lives, not because they're cursed, because they are carrying the greatest capacity to remember. Remember. There is that word again. Remember. Not learn. Remember. Because somewhere, beneath your conditioning, beneath your education, beneath every voice that told you to fit in, to shrink, to obey, to become an acceptable version, something inside of you never forgot the genuine. It waited, quietly, patiently, for enough silence to finally hear itself. Look around. How many people are living someone else's definition of success? Animating somebody else's dream, feeling someone else's fears, treading between someone else's limits. These invisible designs divide the mind, and they are built purely from opinions that were never questioned, as they instead aligned to another's script and thus betrayed their own potential from within. Question them. Question everything. Especially the voice that tells you you can't. Because whose voice is that, really? Who put it there? Who benefits when you mistake your conditioning for your identity? Listen, I've crossed enough fires to tell you this. The treasure is always hidden behind the dragon. The brightest light is always stashed in the darkest cave, and the map only truly begins when certainty ends. And once this kicks, the next step is terrifying as hell. And perhaps that's why the old masters never handed people answers, only practices. Walk into the forest, sit in stillness, watch your thoughts, face the blade, climb the mountain and return changed. Not because the terrain shifted you, but because you discovered who was climbing, what was rising. And then, my friend, equilibrium kicks in. That's the gift. Not special powers or secret knowledge. Perspective. The ability to look back at every moment that almost broke you and whisper, thank you. Because without you, I never would have met me. So if you're standing inside your own shadows, listen carefully. Don't ask, why is this happening? Question, what is this shaping? Instead of inquiring, when will this end? Ponder, who will I be when it does? The intent changes the path. The path changes the walker. The walker changes the world. I've lived enough to know this. The shadows never wanted your surrender, only your attention, because attention becomes awareness. Awareness becomes choice. Choice becomes freedom. Freedom becomes responsibility. Responsibility becomes creation. And creation becomes remembrance of who he is in and beyond this game. Until one day you stop saying, my life happened to me, and start stating, my life revealed me. So if these words feel familiar, good, by request. Don't believe me. Don't follow me. Don't make another belief. Run the experiment instead. Watch your own life. Hunt the patterns. Meet your fears. Question your certainty. Stand still long enough to hear what has been whispering beneath the noise your entire life. Because the shadows don't need believers, only witnesses. And once you have truly seen, you can never again pretend. You are merely surviving. You'll know that you've been remembering all along. Maybe you spent years wondering, what's wrong with me? Incorrect question. Ask instead, what if nothing is wrong with me and everything is trying to awaken me? Welcome home, my friend. As a parting gift to end this vid, remember this in deed and action as well as intent. The shadows knew your name before you even remembered it. They never came to bury you. They came because they knew that one day you'd become the kind of person that would walk back into the darkness, carrying a light for somebody else trapped within. That's how every living tradition survives. One traveler returns from the forest and leaves breadcrumbs for those still searching. Maybe that's why you're hearing this now. Awakening the warrior within always was, is, and will be an option, my friend. Till we meet again.